expected to perform. Parliament, on the other side, has failed to play its role robustly. It has to play a robust role in checking the government excesses and not giving, listen to this, the national credit card to the government to spend with reckless abandon. When the executive says, we want you to review the budget ceiling or we want more money, Parliament should be asking, why do you need the money? But today, because of capture, the Parliament of today is asking, how much more? Not why do you need the money, how much more? We're talking about debt. The other day we were here, somebody reminded us that a World Bank extended a 12 billion loan to cushion us from defaulting. It is repairable in 10 years. We have to ask the hard question. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a question for you. If we cannot repay 12 billion now, how then are we going to repay 16 billion in 10 years? As we're talking today, we know that, again, because of debts due to this year, the government has issued successfully, we have 1.5 billion in new Eurobond, and it's supposed to, at a rate of 10.375%, maturing it by 2031. Second solution is, I think we must get organized as individuals, as civil society. And I want to address this issue with civil societies. We must get organized, trickle this information to the grassroots. Civil society must present a united face and voice to reach the citizenry. Enough of TISA speaking on the corner, and then Moses with his Center for Leadership and Ethics and Governance speaking on another corner, and then the youth agenda are speaking from this corner. We have to be intentional enough, I think, Mungai, for us to be able to come together so we can be able to front an alternative voice, inform the citizenry of this country. I believe and strongly believe that nothing changes until we are equipped, until we have reached what we call a critical mass. A critical mass is what changes the culture. So we must get organized. Lastly, let us call and continue to call for action on debts, on corruption, and on mismanagement. We must become aggressive in our actions. Personal responsibility is something that I say we cannot escape, because we are citizens of Jerusalem, in quotes, that is Kenya. At our churches, at our homes, and with our friends, we have been told, at our country, at our constituency, and at our wards. I dare ask a question. How many here make the time to attend the public participations that are called for by the county in the awards? I mean, just by a show of hands. Okay, please don't lie. This one, Utenda heaven but just be honest, okay? Is you know, right? So you see, it's very few of us do that. And then what we do is complaining. And young people, here is what I always say. Every time we are pointing a finger, three are pointing back at us. So we have to take personal responsibility. And finally, let us be encouraged. It will not take a day. It will not take a month, and it might not take a year. But just because we cannot do it in a day, we cannot do it in a year. Just because we cannot do it all today, young people, good citizens, let us not fail to do something. Believe that we can bring about the change that we want in this country. Let us evolve. My call, it is let us evolve from being bitter people to being better people. I believe this country will be a good place, a better place, because you came this way. Thank you very much, and God bless you. My name is Moses.
Let's give Moses a round of applause. So I would like to welcome Wana Moses from Kupet, who will do a short presentation as well as we wrap up.
Thank you very much. I'm not doing any presentation. I'm just making observations. My name is Moses Ndurima. Moses Ndurima is the Deputy Secretary General of Kupet. I am a teacher of English language and literature. I'm also a lawyer and an advocate of the High Court. Those are some of the things that I do in my tail end of my life. I am 60 years old, so I qualify to be a father. I'm Jambo. Thank you very much for the presentations that I've had today. This country has a lot of potential in terms of actors of change. I have listened to you, and I've listened also to what are your concerns and the way forward. Moses, you have done very well, and being the person who is targeting the young people, you must put the message in such a way that it will reach them. Because the problem that we have in the activism is the language. Because if you go to a village and you start talking the way we are speaking here, people think that we are speaking in tongues. Otherwise, I want to appreciate this forum. I'm a reader of Nigerian novels by Chinua, and in the Hour of God. One quotation is that, were it not for the young goat traveling to the motherland, it would not have known to lift up its upper lip. You have seen how goats, the young goats and the big one, the he goats, keep on lifting the upper lip. That one is learned from the motherland. So when you come to such meetings, you get a lot of knowledge, and this knowledge, as the speakers have said, should be translated into, to the people we know. The situation in Kenya is grave, but this is not meant to discourage you, because we spent in our young times, we spent with Moi for 24 years, and we really suffered at our youthful stage until Kibaki came to salvage us. The people who are in the government today were the high priest of Nyayo philosophy of love, peace, and unity. These are the people we are having today. The people we have today are the people who opposed the constitution, the current constitution, that now they are benefiting from. I was privileged to visit State House a few times to intervene for teachers. So whenever we met the president, sometimes in his usual state, you would present a problem, then he would ask you, have you told William? So every time William is called to take up the responsibilities, because the president was a very good-hearted man, and he is even today. So he thought people would work for him. So quietly, some of the questions that I was asking myself, is this guy going to finish the term? Because he was doing that, was only saying, have you told William? So if William is going to clear 2 terms, he's likely to be one of the presidents who would have ruled for 20 years in the current constitutional dispensation. Because during Kenyatta's time, he handled everything, because Kenyatta thought that he needed to sit plenty and delegate. So in the process of delegating, people took over power, and that is why he ran to Raila Odinga to be salvaged from the cartels. So the question I want to ask you today, what is the difference between JUBILEE and UDA? It's only that because Uhuru is not there. Just look at the cross-section. Just look at the cross-section of those leaders who are there and tell me who is not there. So, what value do you expect from them? You answer that question to yourself. Because you are there for 10 years, they are going to be here now for 10 years if Kenyans allow them. So, ladies and gentlemen, we must take responsibility to change this country. Because somebody who is in the village doesn't know what is happening around himself. You are the only person who knows what is going on. So we must take responsibility. What we are getting today as a country is the government of Moi, which is being replicated today. I have not seen a government walking around the parts of the country explaining what they are doing, and yet they are doing that. You are explaining to people. Kibaki never went anywhere, but he had serious impact on us. But these people, now they are spending money to explain how they are improving the economy, how we, how the young people must get jobs. Today I was looking at the social media that you must reduce the time you are supposed to work so that the young people get a job. I'm telling you, you just wipe out those people who have experience so that you have a campaign vehicle to say that I brought jobs. You sack those who are there. It's like killing those who are there so that those who are here can now inherit, and you use that one as a campaign tool. Very unfortunate. Today in the education sector, it is in chaos. Because one, the government says we have released 60 billion from the primary to the university. When you share that money to that sector, we were calculating in secondary per student, you are getting 3,000. That is how the government is financing education. The government today is indirectly privatizing and commercializing education. Reasons is that they don't want to finance the education because this money is never seen. You can't campaign with that money. So they release 60 billion and then they just walk across the country saying how they have released money. It's only 3,000 per student. And yet the pending bills have not been paid. In other words, they are releasing pending bills in vain, but then they are telling Kenyans, we are financing education. Today, they are saying that e-citizen will help parents. Yes, if it is managed well, it is going to wipe out it's going to help in a way to fight corruption. But it will not stop principals from getting other monies. Why? Because some of this money are just paid in cash. Education is expensive. And if you leave it the way people are talking today, all the principals will resign because it's difficult. It's difficult because with 22,000 shillings per year for a student, you must charge the parent. So we don't need to tell the public education is cheap. It is not. For us to get quality, the government must finance education. So somebody talks about e-citizen here, and I agree with him. but then it is not going to reduce the cost of education. In fact, if the parents pay through the e-citizen, all the schools will be banned. Because the government will use money and then wait to collect money to pay to the schools. And yet the schools needs money every day, every hour. This government, the credibility of this government is questioned. So I want to say that we went and opposed the e-citizen in court. The other day there was a task force which was appointed to examine the CBC system. Surprisingly, this presidential working party was littered with prayer warriors as experts. Those people who campaigned for the current system were the ones who are being rewarded. So some of the recommendations are amending the constitution, which can only be done through a referendum. So how do you implement that? These are the people who say that junior secondary must be domiciled in primary. So when they are left in primary, you employ 2 teachers for 14 subjects. Then you tell primary school teachers to teach. And then these primary school teachers also are those teachers who are trained after passing CRA and getting a C in CRA and another C in history, and then they go to P1. Then you tell that teacher to teach mathematics. That teacher is going to die because this is from one work. They are phobic. They go there and they start shaking because it's terrible. Majority of them can only teach in the lower primary. When you take them to upper primary, they simply, they simply want to run away because it's terrible. So I want to say that the situation is not very good. There is no learning taking place in grade 7 and 8 because there are no books. Up to now, they have no books. If you are a teacher, you must look for a topic here, you look for another book here, and you do that. And this is public education that is a public good. So when we say bottom up, what do you mean? When the hustle of a child is not receiving quality. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. Without education, even if you talk about the economy, it is nonsense. Because those people who are supposed to consume all those things you are doing must go to school. I want to say that, having said that, I want to appreciate some 3 ladies who have talked. I don't remember their name. The 3 who are seated here. They have talked about the reaching out, how to reach out. And that is why we are here. For us as unions, we represent teachers. And we have what we call bulk messaging. Teachers are vehicles of information, very powerful tools. So if we can bring synergies and want to reach them real time, we can still use the unions. Once the information is with the teachers, then the information is with the communities. Because the more we continue talking here, the more we shall be talking to ourselves. And we shall not impact the communities. We are ready and willing to partner with all these partners who are here so that we reach the ground. Your team is very small but very powerful. I know what politicians fear is those people who are informed. And those people who can disseminate information to other people. They really fear. Like teachers, whenever there is an issue of teachers, you'll find them in parliament trying to talk about it. Reasons? Teachers are politically mobilized. But teachers have been misused by politicians also, through handouts. They will be used at the village, the politicians come here, they will not go back until the next elections. And that is how teachers have been impoverished. The earning is very little, because politicians only give them lip service. There is a situation which has come up. I have heard you talk about employment, and I really feel in teaching, we used to have a system where those who completed university earlier were getting employed systematically, because you get more marks in the interview than the person who cleared this year. And that way, everybody had hope. Today, the executive, whenever we are employing 6,000, they go to the TSC, bully them, get about 4,000 forms, they share to the members of parliament. Yes, that is what they are doing. So today, members of parliament are serious employers. You'll be given like 30 forms for employment, and then you clear the family, then you come to the supporters. That person who is not close to you will never ever get a job. And that is now the reason why we must come and see where it's meritocracy. We have a constitution, the values that we have under Article 10, the values of governance. One of them is meritocracy. The other one is transparency. The other one is democracy. The other one is the rule of law. You can name it. Where is? You have seen people in social media calling for meetings to employ people. You have seen the minister himself, a young man kneeling down to get a form. And then the minister says, by kneeling, he has saved himself. That is where we are as a country. And exactly this is what Moi used to do. In employment, Moi used to employ. Instead of the government putting a system of employing through interviews, that young man is our supporter. Employment. That person is, we can use it, employment. That is how they manage the Kenyan society. But in the current constitutional dispensation, checks and balances have been put. But now people have avoided them. In fact, the staffing of the transfer of teachers today, if the principal is not friendly to the member of parliament, that one is taken care of. So education is in terrible conditions. So we expect, as we move forward, you people to come up with strategies on how to deal with the political class by way of disseminating information, so that this country will come back again. It is gone. The country is not there because everything is about politics. How will I get supporters? And that way, it means that we are not working for posterity. We are working for short-term gains. Harambes have come back. In 80s and 90s, the president, wherever he went, he carried loads of money. Today, you can see how money is being dished out. And then you wonder, you have nothing in your pocket, but somebody in the government has loads of money to give out. I'm telling you, we're in trouble. Because the money that is today being generated in the government is being used for Harambes. And as we move towards 2027, people take more money. And they use that money to buy us. And you see, when you're impoverished, and somebody gives you 1,000, you start saying, God, you have Today, God, you have seen me. Yes. People will be very poor, and there is no way to run away from money. You will give them and become an angel. Otherwise, let us try our best and leave the situation. As I finish, Ugandans are saying that if you want to see the monkey very well, wait until it is up on top of the tree. If you want to see it, the way it looks like from the bottom, just wait until it is up. You'll see it very well. The monkeys are on top. Just look at them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think there was no better way to finalize this than how we did it. Thank you, Bwana Moses. We are really glad to have you on board and just sharing with us your experiences with regards to education issues, what is happening, comparing the present governance time and the 80s, the Moise regime there. Asante sana. Thank you all of us again for being patient enough to see this program to the end.